Now at 4, we're tracking more flood watches and flood warnings as heavy downpours are expected to move through this evening and overnight.
It's quite the undertaking. We've been at it since Friday.
Right now at 4, small business owners cleaning up from historic flooding across the state. How and when they'll be back in business.
Right now, they're reaching their breaking point.
Thousands of people are still without power up in the region in northwestern Indiana after the catastrophic storms, and unfortunately, looking ahead, no relief in sight. Just ahead, we have reaction from the power company there. Good afternoon. It's 4 o'clock. Thanks for watching 13 News at 4. I'm Anne Marie in for Dustin and Felicia. Both of them got the ticket to the fair today. They joined us from the Indiana State Fair. And guys, we want to check in and want to see what you're doing and what you have for us coming up this hour.
Yes, and we certainly pulled the long straw today. We are live at the Indiana State Fair. Felicia Lawrence, Dustin Grove, and the excitement is all here. And I think we came on the perfect day. We have clouds, so it's overcast, right? But it's still warm, but not hot, which we love. And food galore. We're on Main Street, and we're at the epicenter, the place where calories don't count.
That's right. I love that. We're among the 50,000 or so people coming through the gates today to enjoy not only the food, Felicia, a lot of people, the food.
That's why we're here.
Also the fun. We've got the Midway just down Main Street here. The animals, agriculture is such a huge part of the Indiana State Fair. And also some out of the ordinary exhibits, including a retro rewind, a nod to the 80s, and the VHS tape, which I don't know if you have heard of or would know about. But we're going to visit that. All of that over the next couple of hours here on 13 News. We cannot wait to give you a front row seat. Anne Marie, we'll send it back to you for now.
All right, we are ready for an afternoon full of fun coverage from the fair. Thanks so much, guys. And whatever treats you want to consume and stack up and bring back for us, we will be happy to give them a taste test for you. In the meantime, the weather is always a factor when you're deciding, are you going to go out to the fair? Is it too hot? Is it too warm? Is there rain in the forecast? All the answers now. Or with Rob Ellis, who joins us as he talks about not only that, but also some concerns about flooding that are returning now.
Unfortunately, the storms that are moving in this afternoon, which we anticipated, and we're not expecting necessarily widespread severe storms. We always have to keep an eye on them. They're just moving so slowly. Here's what we're tracking right now. Radar is lit up, especially to the north. The good news is most of Indianapolis right now not dealing with significant heavy rain. Let's go in and show you some of these areas. Now, there is a flash flood warning that's out. I'll talk about that in just a moment. But what I also wanted to point out is some of these have been training over the same area. For example, watch right here. This one cell has developed here. We're seeing more and more rain continuing to fall. We may see an additional flood warning issued farther to the north, Miami, Cass, and into White County as well. We're just seeing some pretty heavy rain. This flash flood warning, by the way, includes Carroll County. It includes Howard County. That's going to go until 8:30 this evening for the heavier rain that was there that just kind of sat over the same area. And then we have the flood watch that's in place. All the area is shaded in a darker green, really all the way down through the south side of Indianapolis through tomorrow morning, because it's going to take that long to get this system to finally push out of here. In the meantime, temperatures with a little bit of sunshine have been able to warm up into the low 80s for many locations. A little bit of rain cooling happening up to the north. We are expecting some slow-moving thunderstorms through this evening. I think the farther in time we go, the farther south this line is going to go, so that by 10 or 11 o'clock, we could be looking at some pretty heavy rain across the metro. Not good news for those that are recovering, I know, but we push it to the south by morning, and then we get it out of here by the time the sun comes up tomorrow. So expect the possibility of scattered thunderstorms. The good news is this is the best rain chance that we have in the forecast for the next 7 days. After that, a drier pattern. I'll show you coming up.
Okay, we gotta get through that rain that we see on radar right now first. Well, just as we're looking at that forecast, so many people are cleaning up from the historic flooding that hit the area last week. And this includes many businesses that are located along the White River. Samantha Johnson this afternoon back in Hamilton County today, checking in on some of the areas hardest hit.
This week, the Carmel Equestrian Center is all hands on deck, drying out and cleaning up.
Rubbing buckets, collecting, pulling out wet stuff.
Owner Kathy Arnold says Carmel Fire helped evacuate about 24 horses early Saturday morning. Kathy had to leave too.
Kind of like a movie, like you were watching yourself in a movie where you're just walking toward, a row of people and all the flashing lights and trailers and it's raining. And so
Everyone made it out safely, even the chickens, and about half the horses will be back on Wednesday.
it'll definitely feel more normal. It just feels so empty.
Up in Noblesville, Schwartz's Bait and Tackle is open. We were there as crews salvaged whatever they could ahead of swelling waters on Friday, and now they're drying out. Family owned since 1979, they lost a couple picnic tables out back, and the floors need cleaned, but the doors are open. And the owners tell me, thanks to all the help, they actually don't need any more, and they want us to help other people instead. Just about a mile down the river,
We've got a bunch of people in today helping us out.
the White River Canoe Company is in cleanup mode too.
It's quite the undertaking. We've been at it since Friday.
That's when they raced hundreds of canoes and close to 1,000 tubes to higher ground.
God bless the people that work for us. You can see the large dumpster. The water level right there was about chest high on me.
The equipment is safe, and now the work is just getting everything cleaned up because no rentals are going out this week.
Nobody has any business being on the water at this time.
These guys hope to be back to normal and back on the water for Labor Day.
As soon as Mother Nature cooperates with us.
In Hamilton County, Samantha Johnson, 13 News.
It's not just homes and businesses impacted by the flooding. Farmers, they're impacted too. That's big business. Jenny Runovich today talked to family farmers that are in Anderson, and they are reeling from the record rainfall too.
Red Moon Hollow is a family farm. It is small. They grow vegetables, fruits, flowers, and herbs. It's been their livelihood for the past 5 years, but take a look. Record rainfall has taken its toll. 11 inches of rainfall flooded their property. The pond rose and a drainage tile that goes to the White River backed up. So when the river crested, the crops are ruined. You can see it here. And they're not alone. Corn and soybean farmers impacted by the floods are in trouble too. Here, the Sextons haven't calculated the financial hit from the floods yet, but it is a tough thing to take.
This was a record-breaking year for us. We were really killing it. So this is pretty devastating to the rest of our season.
It's emotional too.
It is. We've worked really hard on this property, and this is our life.
Unfortunately, everything that was ruined this season will have an effect on next season as well. The Sextons are hoping to get some help recouping the losses through the USDA. The ISDA says most farmers in Indiana right now are in damage assessment mode. In Anderson, Jenny Runovich, 13 News.
Jenny, thank you. Thousands are still without power northwest in part of the state after a week of catastrophic storms brought down trees and power lines. NIPSCO, which is the Northern Indiana Public Service Company, says it got hundreds of crew members now that are on the ground right now. They're working to restore the power and to do so as quickly as possible. Emily is here live in studio. She's been talking to some of the residents in these areas in the region, as we like to call it, that have been impacted, and it has been days and days and days without power.
Yeah, a week now, going on over a week. Some of the hardest hitter communities in Lake County, like Hobart, and right next door, Gary, Indiana, over 25,000 people there are still without power. Several folks who live in Gary have been posting about their experiences on social media. I spoke with one woman today who simply said, "We are suffering here." At this point, NIPSCO says it's restored more than 80% of the power that was knocked out during last week's storm. Even with that, there are still over 80,000 customers without power. On its website, NIPSCO says crews are prioritizing the areas where they can restore power to the most customers as quickly and safely as possible, while also considering what the system needs and the work required to make those repairs. Behind those numbers that get updated about every 10 minutes on NIPSCO's website are people struggling to get by, waiting for the lights to come back on. People like Kia Anderson from Gary.
I'm seeing a couple crews today. However, it's still trees, the same trees on the same lines. I had to call them out and tell them personally my address so that they could just come over and tell them there were lines down, just to put some speed, Yeah, it's out of hand, and not to mention it's pitch black at night. Pitch black.
On its website, NIPSCO has some dates listed for when power could be restored to some impacted communities. August 25th is listed as a potential restoration date for Highland and Munster. Those communities are also in Lake County. It does not have a citywide restoration estimate for Gary right now. The utility says if a community is not listed with a restoration date, that means that damage is still being assessed. Now, Gary's mayor, Eddie Melton, said in an update yesterday that NIPSCO crews are on the ground in Gary, that they've never left and are working as quickly as possible to restore power. We are expecting a joint update from Mayor Melton and NIPSCO this afternoon. It's supposed to come at any time now.
So what is the governor saying about this? You know, we've seen him on tour here, but we've got a lot of people up there in the region that really need help and assistance.
Sure, and at the beginning of all this, he was in the region, in the northwest part of the state at the very start of this. But Governor Braun says the state is taking unprecedented action, he called it, in a statement today to help NIPSCO in their efforts. The Indiana Department of Corrections is there helping to clear routes. The Department of Natural Resources is also helping to remove debris, and the Indiana State Police are also on site. The Indiana National Guard, they are there too. They've helped clear roadways and are still on site using 2 teams with heavy construction equipment. So really a joint effort, and as the governor said, an unprecedented effort trying to get the power back on in Northwest Indiana.
You know, it just stands out to me, that interview that you did when she says it is dark at night.
No, pitch black. She said pitch black, and there, I mean, if you look on social media, there are a lot of people posting about this, about, you know, that's scary when you look outside and there's not a light on at all. So they're going through it up there.
Right. Yeah. All right. Thanks for putting a spotlight on it, Emily. Hopefully we can get some relief to those people soon. Rob, temperature-wise, when they don't have air conditioning, when they don't have a way to run the fans, they don't have generators, it's not comfortable.
And it's very humid as well, and that's not going to really help things, because unfortunately it means more rain is on the way. Storms possible tonight. It's not going to last long, but it could add a little insult to injury here when it comes to some flooding chances.
And we're live at the Indiana State Fair, and let me tell you, we have not consumed this much sugar since the 90s.
Yeah, what have you got there?
This is a margarita mocktail.
Oh, I've got a bucket of ice cold lemonade, and I've also got some kind of truffle with a lot of names. I don't know. I'm going to try and figure it out. We'll let you know some of the 50+ new creations and some crazy eats and drinks still ahead at the Indiana State Fair. Coming up next. Stick around.